Hello everybody, welcome to this channel. I am Kouki. K. I was like, so for this particular video, I would love to share my personal understanding and experience regarding marriage and spirituality. As the title says, you see it. So why would I want to bring this up? Because I've witnessed a lot of people being trapped in marriage, to which they don't know how much of an impact it can be to them. I mean, this is something quite, even if we don't talk about spirituality, like not from a spiritual perspective, one can already understand that for any kind of marriage, it can really affect you profoundly, be it is your entire lifestyle, be it is your career, your emotional stability, and even your life, like your life path, because you have to adjust yourself. In many cases, would be compromising with the another person, that would be your spouse, right? So in marriage, for me personally, I have also been through this kind of this experience myself. I am a divorcee, divorcee, and I know how it was. I know how it felt when, how the marriage could turn me into, or say, impact me, influence me heavily into a person that I didn't even know who I was. Who am I even? Like at that point, I would be like, and it was upon me getting out of that marriage, not even having to sign that divorce paper, just in the process of towards that divorce, I've already experienced profound changes within myself. So now this is a personal experience, right? Speaking from personal experience, I've witnessed myself how I could change just by getting out of a marriage that is wrong for me. Wrong for me, okay? Not saying this like morally wrong or whatever. It's wrong for me. It's not the right thing for me, for my highest good. It's not for my good, for my well-being. And not only that I have witnessed for myself, but also other people, particularly my mom, my parents, which I would talk about it more, just in briefly though, because I see that as their own privacy, so I would only briefly mention it. So for this video, it would be particularly more about me, and also what I know about how marriage can impact everyone's life profoundly. Now, let's begin from my own perspective, which is when I was in the marriage, I only in hindsight, like looking back, I saw the photos, of myself when I was still married. My entire face, like even the facial feature, expression, everything would be very similar to my ex-husband. So similar, like so similar, to the point that I didn't know. Like at that point, I didn't know. It's kind of like you wouldn't realize that until you got out of the situation, or until you woke up, until you woke up from the dream, from the illusion. And it was not of high frequency, I have to be honest. And the moment that I decided to leave the relationship, the marriage, I asked for divorce, things really started to change in my life. So how I got to the point of I realized I need to, work on myself, go within, and that hasn't reached the point I asked for divorce yet, but it was the beginning of me going towards leaving that marriage. And what happened? What happened was, I'm going to be honest. So I know this figure is quite controversial. Osho, O-S-H-O. I read several of his books, and in through his books, I learned about self-love. And at one point, one night, when I was sleeping in the bedroom, okay, on the bed, and my ex-husband was sleeping next to me. So we have not really like slept yet. It's just that we haven't fallen asleep yet. It's just he was probably playing with his phone, and I was probably reading something or like on my phone. Okay, I suddenly realized that as I was lying down on the bed, I said aloud, like I actually said aloud, I was like, no, I need to love myself. That's what I said. I said I need to love myself more. I actually just I think it's like a drop from my soul, like from my higher self or whatever. I was like, I need to love myself more. And that triggered him. That triggered him so much that he kind of threw a minor tantrum, that he was like, how what he thought or what he said on spot was that, how could you like even love yourself more? You're not even loving me enough. That's what he meant or alluded, okay? So that's a red flag, okay, guys, ladies. That's a red flag if somebody doesn't support you to love yourself, as in, nurturing yourself. Okay, because self-love is the most important for every single person on this planet. If we are not able to sustain ourselves, our well-being, we can't help other people efficiently. So understand that you are not mean, you're not selfish if you need to take care of your own well-being. It's fundamental. It's fundamental to take care of our own well-beings, each of us. So if anyone says, try to put you down, say you're selfish, you're mean, you're rude, you're not valuing our relationship, no. Red flag. I have to say this is red flag. I literally dodged a bullet by leaving that marriage because it was really draining. It was really toxic. But I'm not going to go into details with that, okay? It's just I witnessed how I changed after leaving the marriage. And prior to leaving it, I was already experiencing changes in myself, like a purification process, okay? So what I wanted to share through my own story is that marriage is life-changing. And I'm going to explain why, as in from my understanding now. So that was my experience, right? What I understood from that experience and blending in the spiritual understanding of it is that, you see, many people might think marriage is just, marriage doesn't really matter. And a lot of people, they would choose not to get a divorce and hang on to it for many years. That's what happened to my parents. Okay? Now here's the thing. No, it is a profound impact on your life path, on your forward moving path. Why? A marriage, spiritually speaking, is a contract. I mean, it doesn't even have to be spiritually speaking. It is a contract. You sign the paper, right? So anything that happens in the physical, it has already happened in the spiritual, in a sense, okay? So, meaning, you are connected to this person, your spouse, spiritually. Now, what we see here is only a paper, a contract, and a title, a status, marital status, or like your last name is changed to your husband's last name, or you've added your husband's last name to your last name, okay? Like after your last name. It seems just this, right? It's nothing much more than that. Even if you experience really horrible abuse in the marriage. Now that's something else, right? But what I want to say here is that what we see with the human eyes is only these kind of physical things like the documents, the signature, the change of the marital status. Okay. However, spiritually speaking, you are connected to this other soul. What it means is that this person's karma would be linked to yours. That's what I experienced. What are certain signs that would happen? Like if you want to see the signs, if you are someone that is, I'm going to talk about two things, men and women. Okay, it's something that's so fair. I'm not just saying, oh, the men are bad or the women are bad. No, I'm just talking objectively. What it happens as for women or men, but both cases, for both genders, any cases could happen to any gender. That's what I'm trying to say. It is a non-gender thing. What I'm talking about is on a soul level, spiritual level. The karma or whatever this person, your spouse, does, it does directly affect you. Affect the other spouse, or put it this way, okay? Now, let's give an example. If your spouse is emotionally unavailable, you are heavily impacted by this person's behaviors, because this person would throw horrible tantrums, would use gaslighting or even narcissistic behavior, confusing your entire psyche. That causes you to have emotional instability. So you feel emotionally unsafe. That's what happened to me. Okay? It's abuse. This is emotional abuse, psychological abuse. Some people would even experience physical abuse, physical violence in their marriage. Okay? Now, this is on the human realm, like on this plane, we see it as, okay, this is DV, domestic violence, right? Or just simply psychological violence. On a spiritual, from a spiritual lens, this is a stronghold that is holding you back from evolving, moving forward. Some people might say like, oh, you can bear with people and just put up with them, so with love and see how they change, right? In some cases, yes. But if it already involves violence and abuse, because not many people can recognize all these I just mentioned, these are all forms of abuse. When we don't understand, when we are not even talking about understand, when we are not able to even recognize these are forms of abuse, we would not be even able to understand the situation. Does it make sense? We have to first, for our human mind, psychology-wise, okay, we have to first recognize something. Only then we are able to understand. So if we don't even have the recognition first that this is actually abusive, we would normalize it and thought, okay, that's how it is because I need to put up with it. But why would anyone put up with some such horrible actions, projected by their spouse or done by their spouse? It usually comes from a toxic familiar pattern that one has experienced in the past, most likely childhood. Okay, like it would be how your parents could operate in similar patterns, and you have to suppress yourself, repress your own emotions, and to just put up with whatever the toxic behaviors are. And this would train the brain into thinking, okay, this is normal. So when you meet your spouse, you think this is normal. And even when he or she treats you in a way that is unfair, that is actually abuse, you would not even be able to recognize it because you think that is normal. Maybe you have witnessed how your father has treated your mom or how your mom has treated your father. So you think that's normal, but it's actually unhealthy. But it's familiar. When our brain thinks it's familiar, we think it's safe, air quote, okay? But it's actually not safe. We've normalized the danger into fantasy. We thought this is normal, but it's actually not. It's abuse, okay? So that's what happened to me, because what I just expressed is what happened to me, like my childhood and also my own marriage, and what I recognized afterwards. And it all starts with self-love. It all started with self-love, and I realized that no, I have to love myself. And that's why it triggered my ex-husband so much, because he embodies a lot of narcissistic traits, and also a lot of manipulation, a lot of gaslighting, a lot of devaluation. One example, like I'm just sharing it for whoever, if you have your spouse, or even your girlfriend, boyfriend, even your parents, okay, anyone speaking to you, talking to you in this way, is a huge red flag. Okay, now let's give one of the examples that he has ever talked to me about. Oh, okay, now this is a huge red flag. He said, like, in the following: you have me choosing you, you are already very lucky. You're not gonna have anyone loving you or liking you like I do. Okay, this is devaluation. So through the process of constant repetitive devaluation, it would cause a person to have really, really lower and lower self-worth and lower confidence. Okay, but I mean, for me, I'm just intrinsically very confident. I would not forget myself. So I'm like, yeah. I'm like, for a period of time, I was really devastated. Like, I was so doubtful about myself, a lot of self-doubt. Like, I'm this worthless? I'm this cheap? You know? No, I'm telling you no. Like, if you ever experienced anyone speaking to you like this, I'm affirming you that no, you're good, you're worth it, you're enough, okay? It's a red flag if anyone says anything to you like this. And another example of the devaluation would be how he said to me that if I pick any girl on the street, anyone would be better than you. That's what he said. And I mean, in hindsight, I'm just like, dude, then go ahead. Better, go! I'm like, then why are you with me? Then why are you with me if everyone is better than me? Like, right? But anyways, so spiritually speaking, is actually a contract between you and this other soul. And this other soul's karma would be brought to you. Now, that's the first thing that I mentioned, would be emotional stability, right? Now, emotional stability is especially important when it comes to a person's well-being. You understand what I'm trying to say, right? If you're in a good mood, you feel the peace within yourself, you don't have to put up with fights with your spouse every single day, how this person throws tantrum, or like just gaslighting or blaming you, play the blame game. It's really exhausting. It's exhausting to have a person, not even just a spouse, to have a person like this in your life. And it's particularly your spouse, like you have to face this person every single day. That's hell. That's hell. I experienced that. That's hell. Hell. And okay, so that's first thing, emotional stability. Now, how is it linked to spiritual aspect? Now, I understand emotional stability is more about psychology, right? Our psyche. How does it impact? How would it link to spiritual? Our emotions really govern our creativity. Okay. Yes. Because how creativity comes about, like, imagine when you listen to music, songs, you feel more hyped, right? Just because of the song, the music. Because why? Because different types of music, it gets us into a different mood. And mood is emotion. So if you experience different emotions, this means creativity. You are being like poked to feel different emotions. And that's why when certain artists, they would listen to music when they create, and they would listen to different types of music for different types of creation. It's the channeling of the energy through the music, like assisted by the music, the song, okay, to create, for them to create. What does it mean? Emotions are currency. Emotions is a very major part of your life force, of our life force. If your emotions are unstable, it means your life force is unstable. Life force is everyone has it, okay? It's a universal thing. You channeling the energy, and this kind of life force sustains you, your health, your wealth, your entire well-being. And that is directly related to emotions. So if you listen to songs, music that are very, bright, happy, you instantly feel better. Why? Because of frequency. That certain frequency as related to that particular emotion that song brings out, it gives you life force. That's why when we listen to church music, the a cappella, those kind, it feels really soothing, and you feel calmed, you feel healed, you feel really peaceful. That's the frequency. Why? That frequency would trigger, or say poke, or say you would receive that frequency, you pick up that frequency of that particular song, the church song. And that frequency is peace, is bliss, joy, hope. That would trigger that particular emotion in us. And that's how we, channeling that life force that is related to peace and love. So what does it mean then? If we are exposed to people, places, environments that cause us to be emotionally unstable on a daily basis, your emotions could very likely be in the range of fear, stress, hatred, jealousy, all of this, okay? It's not about the person is good or bad. I'm talking about if the people around us, particularly our spouse, because I'm talking about marriage, right? For this video. But for friends, be aware of it as well. Because whatever they hold, their own karma, however they live, they behave, they treat other people, are they doing their inner work? If they think of harming other people all the time, this would affect you energetically through emotions. Now, just talking about just emotions, it would affect you through emotions if that person, anyone, but now your spouse, always thinks in a way that is trying to harm other people, plotting other people, or even to control. These kind of emotion operates from fear and also hatred. Okay, so and also jealousy. If you are with a person like this, and especially if you have sexual interaction with this person, that's what I mentioned in the previous video on sex and spirituality, that would transfer to you directly. You would feel this that might not be even originate from yourself. That emotion is the direct transfer from this person to you. So you would likely, the signs would be you would feel very drained with this person. You would feel very exhausting when you're with this person. Anyone, it could be a friend, okay? But particularly with your spouse, it would be extra draining because you're around this person 24/7, say, and it's just not a good influence for your well-being. I'm not saying that this person is a good or bad person, but it's not a good influence. If we ever feel drained when we're with anyone, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. Now, what else when it comes to emotions? That was the first one. So that would be about your life force, right? Emotions to life force. Second, wealth. Wealth. For some people, they don't believe in this. It's okay. Astrology wise, some people bring in a lot of spiritual inheritance, wealth, abundance in their chart naturally. These people it's just like how when you enter the game, before you enter the game, earth game, okay, before incarnation, you have that set up. It's a blueprint, birth chart. Okay, you have that. You can see it from your birth chart that how these people could be. But it really depends on the personal journey. Everyone has a different one. And for some people, if they look into this, they see their spouse potentially can have a lot of money, a lot of fortune. They might just buy into that for the marriage. Like, I'm not joking. It really could happen like this. Like, this is actually something really normal and common back in the old days. It happens in China, Japan, India, South America, Africa. People look at these kind of things of a personal chart, and they can see if these two people that would be coming into union, marriage, would they fit each other. This is not stupid at all. This is exactly what people used to do, and is not stupid. Because for some people, if they see the chart, you see, because back in the old days, there's not much about marrying each other because of love, right? It's more about the transaction thing. It's true. Okay, that's what they do. That's what they did, or what they do. They would check with the birth charts because they can see through these two people's birth chart, would the woman be too much for the man? I'm not going to go into details, okay, but it's just what it is. Like, as in for a particular house in astrology, or would there be a planet in a particular house? Say if there's a planet in the 7th house that would be about marriage, okay, for the woman, this particular placement would affect the man, the husband's longevity. Like, literally, I'm not joking. It's all about the dynamics. It's all talking about dynamics. It's not talking about a curse or anything. It's only talking about, if you think it in this way, in chemistry, scientifically speaking, it's simply about how, like if you mix sodium with chlorine, like it's chlorine, like it would become sodium chloride, right? Or if you mix in a one of the noble gases on the periodic table, these are very stable ones, noble gases, right? And these are non-reactive because they are noble gas, they're stable, right? If you mix this one with another one, it would become less non-reactive. Now, if you mix in two very reactive, like fluorine, right? If you mix in very reactive elements to get two very reactive elements together, it's really reactive, like explosive. Think of it in this way. It's basically how when you place two people together, they marry each other. If they match, how would it be? Like, would there be a lot of quarrels, a lot of fights, a lot of instability in their marriage because based on how they are, how each of them is intrinsically? So it's like one could be sodium, another one could be halogen, in one of the noble gases. Okay, so that's how we can visualize it or understand in a way when it comes to pairing marriage. So why would it be affecting wealth? This is what I noticed. For those who are in a relationship that's full of abuse, your emotion is unstable because of the entire context, or even because of your spouse's behavior. your wealth would not go anywhere good. Your wealth would usually fluctuate a lot, okay? And you would not be able to kind of like stabilize yourself, settle your wealth, your financial security. I'm not joking, it's true, because it's about emotions. Particularly if you're a man. Particularly if you're a man and your wife is emotionally unstable, really emotionally unstable, your wealth would be really fluctuated. Because the woman in the household is the one that puts up emotional stability. And the man in the household is the one that puts up structure, actual safety, protection, nurture for the household, like protection, like a protector, provider. That's what the man does, the masculine in the household. For the woman, this feminine figure in the household is to uphold that emotional stability, the nurturing aspect of it, the comfort, cozy, and homemaker. That's what women do in a household. And if the women are not able to uphold this, meaning they are emotionally unstable, the man cannot work on his task efficiency. Now, that is just a very simple to understand thing, right? But what's more is that women represent in a household. Women in a household represent the wealth of the entire family. I'm not joking. Women, so be aware of who you marry to. I'm not joking, man, gentlemen. Be aware, choose your partner wisely. For ladies, choose your man wisely, as in how would they provide you? Are they giving you the safety, the stability that you deserve? Okay, you need men to provide for you in order for you to feel safe, emotionally safe. Women, okay, you need to. Your wife has to feel for men, your wife has to feel emotionally safe and stable. Herself has to regulate herself. Okay, even if you now there are cases that when many men they provide, okay, they provide, but their wives are just simply not willing to grow or not able to regulate their emotions. Taking their own responsibilities, or they're just simply unable to, whatever it is, okay? It's not going to work. You would see how these kind of people's wealth would literally go up and down like this. It's because of the contract. Yes. It's because of the contract. Because the marriage is how you're linked to this person spiritually. And so if this person is spiritually unwell, that would be to you. It's a teamwork. Now, I'm just going to wrap this video up by briefly talking about how I witnessed my own parents. Because recently they got divorced. And it's been a long time. Like, it's a long time coming. And it's like, I see how my mother, she's learned to stand on her own feet, and I'm really proud of her. And she told me that after the divorce, she feels so much in control of herself, because she feels she's been so drained for the entire marriage. And I can just simply witness how she becomes much more and more powerful within herself. And I'm really proud of her and happy for her. That's how life-changing it could be. Like, as it's just within like a month or two, and she's already she's growing so fast in a positive way. So I'm not saying go get a divorce, go divorce. Like, no, I'm just simply telling what I know and what I also experience, what I recognize, and what I understand about marriage, how it could change our lives so profoundly in either a downward spiral or upward spiral. So choose your partner wisely. And knowing that your emotional stability really governs not only your creativity and also your wealth and your well-being. It's so important to be with a person that is emotionally safe for you and also physically safe. Okay, of course, like, I mean, if you're physically safe, then no, if you're emotionally safe with this person, then of course you would be physically safe with this person as well, right? It's just logic. Right? So yeah, that's what it is. And I hope this video finds you well and that you find certain insight through this. And I truly wish everyone to find their, safe home and true love, safe love, equal give and take, not having to sacrifice one's well-being in order to be with another person. You are good enough. Empower oneself first, always. And that is how you ripple out that empowerment from oneself. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for listening, your time, your patience, and your support. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.